Hey family. So of recent I have been having a lot of questions like what are the tips? Can I maybe in one word or two word give the exact tips or tricks into getting a perfect bag? Well, in my own opinion, honestly, it takes a lot to get a perfect finished product. But I put some things down here and I'm going to be going through them with you guys. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel once again. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to the channel. I love you and God bless you. And if you're just tuning into the channel for the very first time, please do well to click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post in new tutorials, because on this channel we have many more amazing tutorials to show you guys. So guys, honestly, having a perfect bag is the goal. Yes, it's the goal, because you will not get more clients if you don't have well finished bag. I know perfection is impossible because we human self are imperfect, but there is finished, clean district work that even from pictures or messing and the bags, your client will be captivated and motivated to pay any amount for it. So the first thing I would want you to put in consideration if you want to have a perfect product is to decide the bag you want to make. The first thing is to decide the bag you want to make, because you cannot just be going around. You have to decide the actual bag you want to make first. That's the first thing. Do you want to make a shoulder bag? Do you want to make a fashion bag? Do you want to make a slant bag? Do you want to make a school bag? The bag, is it for a male or a female? The bag, is it for parties? Is it for occasions? Is it for office? You have to decide the particular bag you want to make. Now the second one is you decide the material you want to use. Do you want to use leather? Do you want to use crepe? Do you want to use Ankara? Do you want to use jit fabric? You just have to decide the particular material you would want to use. That is very, very essential. And in deciding the material you want to use, you will decide, do you want plain? Do you want coated? Do you want the one that comes with already made design? Do you want light? Do you want thick? You have to put all these things into consideration. You also think of the color. Okay, I want black because you have your reasons. Maybe you want black or pink or blue. You have to also put that into consideration when determine the kind of material you want to use for the exterior of the bag. Now the next thing you have to put into consideration is stabilizer. You want to make a luxurious bag. Making a luxurious bags, you need to put stabilizer. There are different types of stabilizers, and it's the stabilizer you are using also determined with the method you are using to make the bag, and also the kind of machine you are using. I know I use a blackhead machine and I am not limited to the type of bags I am making, but if you are a beginner out there or you're just starting out and you don't know the ways around it, I will suggest you go with carry board, because carry board are really, really durable, and no matter the mistake you make, it will not break. No matter the adjustments you end up doing, it will not dismantle, unlike Marco that it's soft, and I feel, to me, it is flabby. So if I am not making an office bag, I don't go to Marco. If I'm not making tote bags, I don't go to Marco. Now let's say for instance you want to do a chain bag. Of course you need to use a foam, and you also determine whether you want the bag to have a lining or not. So all these things, all these tiny things are things you are going to put into consideration. The next thing is the measurement. You need to determine the measurements of the bag. Okay, I want the bag to be big, I want it to be extra large, I want it to be medium, I want it to be midi. On this channel I give measurements of mini and midi bags because that is my own niche. I love mini bags. Anywhere I see mini bags, I can pay for it. So I feel my own clients too love mini bags, and that's why I focus on mini bags when I am making my bags. Even clients bags, I have to ask you what size do you want. 95% of my clients say please let it be portable. So I love portable bags, and that's why I post portable bags. Now the next thing are accessories. My dear, accessories are very, very essential. The wow in your bags are accessories. Yes, leather inclusive, but accessories will bring out the wow in your bags. Maybe it's a g-ring, maybe it's the handle, maybe it's the logo, maybe it's the lock. You don't expect to use regular magnetic lock all the time for your bags. Me, I use magnetic locks all the time because that is what I have in my location. But there's a way I do it that when you see the bag, no, you would want to buy it. But there are some bags that those kind of magnetic locks don't work. You need to buy a screw lock or a clip in lock. So you also have to determine on accessories. Accessories are very, very essentials. Then the next thing is the shape of the bag. You need to determine, do you want a square bag, do you want a rectangular bag, do you want a trapezium bag, do you want a hexagon bag? You just have to decide the shape of the bag. The next things are the components of the bag. Do you want the bag to have a 3-side corset? Do you want it to just have a 2-round corset? Do you want it to be plain? Do you want to have a zipper? How do you want the zipper to be? So you have to determine the component. Now the next thing is to decide whether you want to do a sewing project or a gum work. I just hope I am not being too fast, and I hope all these things you're processing them. These are just the tiny steps you need to put into consideration. This is like the planning process. This is something you do before you even start making the bag, so that you will not make mistake and you will not omit anything. I hope you understand what I am saying. So you have to decide whether you want to do a gum work or you want to do a sewing project. Now the next thing is to gather your surprise. After you've decided the leather, the accessories, the shape of the bag, the components of the bag, you have to gather supplies. Gathering supplies involves the materials, like I said, the accessories and some other things. You have to gather your supplies. Make sure you get everything from the landing to the gum to the needle, everything to the thread that you want to use. Make sure you gather them before you start that work. If not, your work will not come out perfect. Now the next thing is to decide, after you've gathered your supplies, is to cut out your pattern. Of course, after you cut out your pattern, the next thing is to decide which part comes first. Now if you want to make a bag that has a zipper, of course you have to put the handle first before you put the zipper panel. I just hope I am not being confusing. So you have to decide the parts that come first to avoid losing, to avoid mistakes. Because when you make mistakes and you lose your work, there are going to be signs of stitches. Needle used to punch in leather. Unlike fabric or Ankara that it will not show, but on leather it will show that you punch that place. It will show. So you need to decide which part come first, so that when you are sewing you will not make mistake. Now the next thing is to start working, which is the practical part. When you start, don't lose focus and continue. And the very, very important thing that I feel is very, very essential in order for you to get a perfect bag is to practice. Practice, 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 practice. We cannot overemphasize. I personally cannot overemphasize the importance of practice. Practice. Do it over and over and over and over and over again. The more you do it, the more you become perfect. It's not all of us that have straight stitches. So straight stitches is also among what will give you a perfect work. But if you don't practice over and over again, you will not have straight stitches. Also, thread. Make sure you burn your thread with your lighter or matches, or you cut it off as close as possible with your scissors. Those are also the tiny things you could also do to have a perfect work. Like I said, practice. Practice. Don't wait until you have a client's work before you try out a bag. 95% of the projects I put on this channel are practice work. 95% of them are practice work. The reason why I do them is because what if eventually I see this bag, I think I can do it. Yes, in my head, I think I know I can do it. But my hands are not as fast as my brain. I will sit down, think about the measurement, think about the equipment I would be using, the materials, the accessories. I'll do all this planning and decide the components, which parts come first, and some other things. Then I will now go and start stitching them. That is why, if you notice, on the channel I used to show some mistakes I made in making some certain bags. That is because that is the actual first time I'm doing them. And eventually, if I am making that bag again for a client this time around, I don't make any mistake. Why? Because I've already practiced it initially. I've already done the practice initially. So all the mistake I am supposed to make that will not make my client come back, or that will not make me to have a perfect work, I have already done it on my own. So the one I am now making for the client is a perfect finished work. So guys, I hope with this little tips of mine, you would improve in your bag making and get more and better perfect products at the end of your day. It takes work, it takes time, it takes effort, it also takes a lot of money. So I just hope you will learn a lot. You've learned something from this tutorial, and please say more if I omitted something. If I omitted something on the tips, maybe one tip that I did not mention, please, you could say it in the comment section so that I too will learn from you guys. Nobody's an island. We all grow by flowing into each other. Or how is that English said? So thank you guys for tuning into the channel once again, and I hope to see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.